Well, thank you so much for joining us. And I wanted to say a big welcome to Fayle. She is a professional home stager here in the Durham region. She is with Park Lane Staging, and she is here to answer all of our burning questions about staging and what it really is. So welcome. Thanks for joining us.
Well, hi Lisa, and thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here today to explain what home staging does.
So we hear that staging helps sell our homes for the most money in the fastest amount of time. So let's break it down. Like, what is home staging?
Well, home staging is all about preparing the home for a sale.
Okay.
And typically that entails rearranging furniture in a home, decluttering, getting rid of personal stuff, and then we could end up bringing in some of our pieces to enhance the homes.
So we're not emptying out the house.
No, we're not. Typically, an occupied stage means we walk through the home and we decide what of the homeowners can stay.
Okay.
Any big overcrowding furniture, we would recommend that gets moved.
Okay.
But essentially, we like for people to feel that they're still in their homes,
Right.
but we will highlight the key features of their space.
Okay, so they can still live in the house.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's not like they have to walk around holding their breath, not touching anything.
No.
Okay.
So when we
Great.
bring in things, we do accommodate for families.
Yep.
So we won't overstage to make it feel like you're walking into a staged furniture
art gallery,
place or an
you
art
can't touch
gallery.
anything? Yep.
No, absolutely not. This means you can live in your home, but we'll bring pieces in that can accent what you have, like accent pillows, neutral accent pillows, throws, fresh bedding. And typically with fresh bedding, we have a way where we tell people to roll off our stuff where they can still sleep with their stuff under
All right. So it's sort of like in the morning, you roll back on the gorgeous staging, and at night, you roll it off.
Absolutely.
I love that.
So we make
Okay.
it livable.
Okay,
100%.
That's good. I would say some of the misconceptions is it's just for really expensive houses like luxury homes, or is it for every home?
Absolutely not just for expensive homes.
Okay.
It's for every home. I think every home can benefit from staging because we end up decluttering, because when we live day to day, we accumulate stuff, right? So we then pull out the stuff that, just makes your home look a little bit busy. The idea is to neutralize your space, right? To take out your personality so we can appeal to a wide range of buyers.
Gotcha.
And the idea is to take out stuff that's going to get the buyer to think about why did she style it that way versus the bones of the home.
Right.
So that is why we make it very generic.
Then they're just seeing exactly what the house can be for them.
Exactly.
I always tell clients, preparing for staging, because that's also sometimes a big worry for people. How do they get ready? Packing these things away, and it's things you have to pack anyways. So you're sort of just breaking up an arduous process. We all know packing is the worst thing ever, and moving can be, it's necessary, but it's stressful. So even just to break it up and have some of it done ahead of time, and even just decide, I think, hey, if you're not going to live with that, if you're not taking it with you to the next house, is it really something that we want to have with us selling the house? And a lot of times the answer is like, hey, no, not really, you know? And then we can just sort of get ahead of the game and just sort of have it all run a little smoother.
Exactly. So it's basically helping you purge and get ready for your move.
Right.
That's how I tell people.
Okay, the big purge.
The big purge.
Okay.
Do we really need all the stuff we've been living with or really haven't touched for a few years?
Yes.
So it is an emotional process, right?
It is, yep.
Because it's letting go of things that you've acquired over the years that have, emotional attachments to it because your kids have grown up or, things have happened in your home.
Sure, yeah.
But when you want to move on to your next place, you don't necessarily want to take all of it with you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it then becomes an issue of prioritizing
Yep.
and cleaner living. And often I find clients love the way the home is staged, and then they often want to keep the stuff we've put in and want to try and emulate that in the new home.
Yeah.
So I find it, initially it sounds daunting, but once it happens, they'll kind of feel relieved and happy to be in their new, less cluttered space.
Their new old home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So many times, when you're done staging for me and the client comes home, they call me and they say, I don't want to move. And I think, Is this, counterintuitive to my business, or is this a good thing? Of course, it's an amazing thing. But if we're, as sellers seeing our home in a new light, can you imagine what buyers are coming in? Because really, I say, it is important, I think, for every home. Because if you're deciding between 4, 5, 6 homes, many are being staged, some aren't, that we do want to compare the well and really be the best.
Exactly.
We have sort of a small window, a short amount of time to wow everybody.
Exactly. And what I tell buyers, because a lot of them being old buyers don't understand the concept of staging, because often most of them have moved in their homes and haven't moved in many years.
Yes.
So the whole idea of having someone to come in to remove their stuff is bizarre for them. So we do tell them in today's world, people buy online, right? So the idea is to create photo opportunities online to get the buyers in the door, right?
Yeah.
And that way your home needs to present and showcase well.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that means staging it. It
But
really does.
You know what? The process usually is really seamless, and once it's done, it's all done. I mean, I know with your methods, it's done in a day. It's not
100%.
done, and you're not sort of killing everybody slowly, 1,000 paper cuts. It's done in an afternoon, and then photos and media and all that is done after, and then the sellers are left with a home that they love and they're proud to show. Usually the pictures are sent around to everyone's friends and family. And then, we're off to the races. We're up for sale. And so it's a streamlined process, I will say, for sure.
Yes. So for us with staging, how it works is with occupied stages, I would go in, do a consult, and generally that takes a few days to get ready for a stage. Because when you're living in, you need to rearrange things, get rid of furniture, big furniture, things that are going to take up space, declutter, and have it ready for us to come and stage it, right? Whereas a vacant stage, our turnaround could be as much as 24 hours.
Right.
I'll do a stage plan, and we just bring in everything the next day.
Right.
And on the stage day, with an occupied stage, I'm going to go back to that, we don't like to interrupt people's lives. So generally, like you said, in an afternoon, our crew comes in, and we try to do it in an orderly manner. So it's not too much disruption, because moving and selling is stressful.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah. I think by knowing, at least for me in my business, by acknowledging it's a lot, trying to work towards methods to make it less stressful, I think is ideal, and everyone seems to appreciate that, because you're having people come in your home, it's a strange cycle. And then especially with staging, so many of my clients have lived in their homes for 30 plus years. It wasn't done. My first home, my second home, my third home, we didn't stage.
No.
You just cleaned it really well.
Exactly.
That was all you were expected to do, and that was okay. So now it's changing. So it's such a big process, but when it's all done, I think it's very satisfying, and I think it really does. What's the word? It really pays respect to how many years you've been in the home. Most of my families say, what, we've been here for 25, 30 years, we've raised our children here, and now look how fabulous it looks. Like they're so proud, and it's a great sort of swan song for the house that has been a big part of their lives.
Well, that's how I feel as well. I feel really proud going in and transforming somebody's space in a day, and using their stuff and highlighting what they have, right? And the spaces they have. Sometimes they have spaces in their home that they weren't too sure how to use, right?
Sometimes that strange living room that's right behind the dining room, and it's too small for big couches, but then it's too big just to be nothing. So it is. It's like, what was the builder intending with this?
So we come in and we try. We figure out spaces, and then people are like, oh, never thought to use it that way, but that's a brilliant idea.
That's great. I think great ideas for the next house too, on how to use their own furniture. And then you're bringing in other furniture as well, and decor. So it's really sort of adding on to everything that's already there.
Exactly.
So for the sellers that want to DIY, do it themselves, what would be the 5 top staging tips in your opinion?
I would say declutter.
Okay.
Declutter.
So closets, basement,
Absolutely.
all the
just,
rooms that you've been avoiding for 10 years.
Just go to it. Be brave, open up those doors and tackle.
Okay.
And you'll be amazed at how much you don't need.
Call your adult children. Tell them to come back and get your stuff.
Get the stuff.
It's time. Yeah, you need to get your trophies and your yearbooks. And so many of us have all that. The kids say, oh, well, we'll pick it up in a little bit. And they don't.
They don't.
But it's time.
It's time. It needs to happen.
So declutter.
Declutter.
So what's the next one?
I would say you could rearrange your furniture.
Okay.
Right? Just using what you have and deciding things that are just too bulky, let's get rid of those.
Right. Okay.
Right? I would, declutter, rearrange furniture.
So if things aren't maybe in good condition, if they're ripped or torn, I mean, many clients who have a lovely family cat that's done a number on the couch that,
I have that.
Okay, so you know.
Yes, I know. So we love them, but oh boy, they're sometimes challenging to live with. So I have to say, things that they've ruined need to leave.
Need to go.
Right?
Okay. And that I think comes back with like if it's that idea of, hey, I'm never going to use this again.
Exactly.
This is the time to get rid of it.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
And then I would clean.
Okay.
You know,
great point.
Cleaning is wonderful. Make, everything sparkle.
Yeah.
Once you do that, it's amazing how the house just shines, right?
Gotcha. And what about, painting or
refresh a home?
Okay.
It's a wonderful thing. No bright colors. Nothing bold. Nothing that's gonna, stand out and make people pause for a second. I would recommend being as neutral as possible because I know some people think it's boring and bland and it doesn't speak to your personality.
Not everyone wants to be gray or beige.
But
that's a real word, everybody. Beige, gray and beige together.
Yes. But what it does is creates a neutral, calm space.
It does.
Right?
Yep.
And it then makes people focus on what they're here to do. Look at the bones of the home.
Yeah.
Right?
It's easier to take in, I think. Instead of looking at a stronger wall color, you're being able to take in the space. It sounds sort of cheesy, but it is, you just can go in and relax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I would absolutely say neutralize your space. Remove heavy cushions, bright colors, bold decor.
Okay.
Those things, would make an impactful difference when potential buyers walk in.
Okay.
Right? So neutralize your space.
Great.
Add a throw.
Yeah.
Always warmth is a lovely thing.
Or just call you.
Call me. Fresh flowers.
Mark Lane to the rescue.
Yes. Or, curb appeal.
Yeah.
Curb appeal, I think, is imperative because
that's so true. Exterior.
That is the first impression, right? We tell our kids first impressions matter. So this is putting your best foot forward. Curb appeal is key.
Okay.
So, it sets the stage for the buyers going in, what to expect when they open that door.
Sure.
So those would be my 5 things.
Okay, that's great advice.
Yeah.
That's great advice. Okay, I'm going to ask the burning question that everyone's thinking, the elephant in the room. Is staging expensive?
I have to say, staging is not an expense.
Okay.
Lisa. Staging is an investment.
An investment.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I like that.
I have to say, from what I've known, and I'm sure you know as well with the market, staged homes sell for at least 5 to 20% higher than non-staged homes.
Yeah.
So your return of investments there is huge.
Right. Okay.
So
I would agree.
I would never call it an expense. Yeah. It's an investment in your home.
It's an investment to the process. So if you're going to do it well.
Absolutely.
Okay. I like that. All right. Okay. So here's one I get often. Is staging about hiding problems?
Not at all.
Okay.
No, staging is meant to enhance the best features of a home. And if there are issues, we try to address those before we start staging.
Okay.
Essential repairs are recommended. You should do those and then we stage. And transparency. Transparency is essential with selling a home.
Absolutely.
So, we're not here to hide things.
Okay.
We're here to just enhance the best features of a home.
Okay. So enhancement is the word, not hiding.
No hiding.
All right.
No hiding at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me here today, Lisa.
That's been really, really good and I think insightful because so many people that I meet, that their first worry is staging. They want it. Maybe their kids have talked to them about it. It's something that they're thinking, okay, I need this, but then on the flip side, it's a stressful idea because they really don't know, most of us don't know stagers.
No.
So I'm lucky, but most of us don't know them, and it is a bit of a daunting idea of what that looks like until you jump into it, and it's actually smooth sailing from there. So again, Fayle from Park Lane Staging here in Durham region, thank you so much for taking the time to visit with me and our followers and explain the world of staging.
Oh, you're so welcome. It was an absolute pleasure. And if anybody needs any help, feel free to reach out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, thanks everyone, and thanks again for joining us, and until next time.